welcome everybody to this Thursday night watch party. Bit of a special edition, bit of an early start, but that is because it is a momentous occasion for those of us in this community, most of whom are nerd vendors, and that is because very shortly Josh will be reuniting with Star Wars Theory and with all the Kathleen Kennedy news. He felt it was time to pop back in and have a night of discussion, so we're going to watch that for a while, and then probably we're going to watch the next episode of Invincible. But Deadline just dropped an interview with KK, and not sure how things are going to work out tonight. So anyway, buckle up your butts, people, because one way or another, it's time to get nerdy. What is happening? Whoops, wrong button. Ha ha! What's happening, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you're ready for a good stream tonight. I dropped a couple of things about what's happening in the Discord, like right before I came on here. Looks like the boys have begun already, so without further ado, we're gonna jump right on in this shit. So we shall pause la musica. We shall turn that up.
Just wasn't it, and I just couldn't get into it.
And
I was, with Star Wars news and shit, I've been kind of like losing my, this is, what am I talking about? I haven't even watched the Andor trailer yet, but with this, I just feel closer to everything. I feel closer to George. I'm happy every day. I'm excited. So, how's everything with the comic? And I know that you got another youngling, which is amazing.
Yes. Yeah, we have another youngling, and that kind of unfortunately pushed some stuff back with the comics. The comic's a little bit delayed right now. But things are good on my end, family's good. I got to be honest, man. I feel like I've gotten even more, I don't know if I want to say anti-Star Wars, but like my frustration with it has grown to a point where I think it's potentially even worse than you because, I didn't even watch Skeleton Crew.
Your kid
I know
would
you
loved
liked it. I know you liked it, and I know a lot of people liked it and whatnot. It's just for me or whatever, it just wasn't it, and I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
And maybe just because I've been so frustrated with everything, I couldn't even like really try.
Yeah, I get it.
And then what was the one before that? Well, that was
that's
Acolyte, right?
What up?
So obviously Acolyte was whack and not good.
You know what?
But
I don't even want to read it.
yeah, I mean, I've been good. It's just that honestly, man, I've personally felt, and I know you're feeling the same way. Star Wars just maybe more frustrating than ever.
Fuck that chat.
And this week we were granted a little bit of hope. And when the news came out, I think it came out on Tuesday, right? Good reporter, multiple sources puts out this big story that Kathleen Kennedy is going to retire from Lucasfilm and there's people taking over, etc. It was like the first time in a while that I had gotten hopeful about Star Wars and thought about what it could actually be and what we could actually be experiencing together. And it was cool. And I had to reach out to you because I had the vibes of back in the day. And so I'm grateful that that story was able to get us back together and get here talking about Star Wars. Unfortunately, as I was telling you right before we went live.
Yeah, he was giving me some rough news. And I was like, hold on, let me just hit the go live button. What?
So this is, I think this is so crazy. And I think we're still going to have a fantastic show because there's even more to talk about now. But Kathleen Kennedy, about a half hour ago, maybe a little bit more than a half hour ago.
Oh, yay. That sounds
like
so much fun.
An interview on Deadline, one of the big Hollywood trades, super big article. And it is one of the strongest rebuttals against the story I've seen in a long time, just from what I've seen so far. And we can go through the questions and the answers, and we can talk about what's happening, right?
I'm going to
but she is basically saying,
or maybe after
that she's not retiring, or that there's some kind of succession plan in, but it might happen, at the end of the year or maybe next year. And if you like, if you look at the language, and I only looked at it a little bit because the bigger story I think is, man, this bitch dropped this shit right when you and I were about to get back together and start to get she gone, and like, you know what I mean? Like, we're so excited, and so I think
she's
the
not
timing
gone?
is crazy. Well, I can kind of explain what I think is going on.
Pop it up. Let's see this article.
Yeah, let's see this article. The thing is,
and chat, we'll bring in the boys as well after this, but we just wanted to do like a little 10-minute like homage of, Nerd Theory, because it's been like over a year.
Yeah,
so
man.
we're very.
Let me get this.
It feels like we haven't even missed a beat, dude.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of
cool.
This is
that is how it's supposed to go.
But, I mean, yeah, other than that, it's really good.
But not missing a beat is
yeah,
how it's
dude,
supposed
this
to
is
go.
crazy. So I'll tell you what. Let me pull this up, and let me just give you the bullet points. Maybe that'll be a little bit better, because then I can actually like kind of explain what I think is going on here too.
All right.
Because there was some reporting on Wednesday that kind of mirrored exactly kind of what she's saying in this article. So it says here, it says she's not retiring. Will never retire from movies. I will die making movies. That was her proclamation. She's producing several upcoming Star Wars projects. We'll talk about that in a second, because that means she's literally probably, even if she retires as president, she will produce Rey movies, and she'll produce further content, which is crazy. She has started talking to Disney about a succession plan, and it could be a year before the decision is announced. Okay, so that's kind of like their cover story for it. We'll stay at Lucasfilm to assist whoever takes over. So, like, bro, what the fuck, man?
Wait. What? Hold on.
Yeah. So okay. So
what?
This is,
wait. Oh shit. Okay.
So basically,
She's
this is what, in my opinion. Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead, man. What do you think?
I started talking with Disney about a succession plan. Okay, so this is like Palpatine's contingency plan. Okay, so she's on her way out. What are you talking about?
She's on her way out. She's absolutely on her way out. And I think that there's still a lot of good new stuff in here. So here's the thing. Here's what I think happened. Basically, she has been planning to leave for a while. There have been, plans set in motion. I think the truth is, there's two things. I think she's been looking for some kind of win. That's been out there in the reports, is that she wants to kind of go out on a high note, which is like,
us too.
Yeah, well, dude, her leaving is the high note, but ultimately, like, yeah, so that's been something holding her back, because obviously they've been struggling a little bit over there. And I also think it is difficult to figure out who would take over. Dave's not necessarily qualified on his own to do it. He's the clear choice, but maybe he's not, really qualified. That's kind of where I get this. I'll stay on at Lucasfilm to assist whoever takes over. So there's an example that I can give to kind of explain what this will probably look like. And unfortunately, unless we get lucky, brother, and like,
I don't believe any of this shit, bro. To
What
be
do you
real
mean?
with you, I think this is all PR. I think this is all like, she's just be like, no, I'm not going anywhere. But then she's like, we're doing a succession plan. It's like, well, okay, so that's the first we hear of this. So clearly the news is true that she is leaving. Yes. But this whole shit about like, we'll stay at Lucasfilm to assist whoever takes over. It's like, well, yeah, that's kind of what happens whenever you pass on the torch to somebody else. You stay until they're comfortable, and then you see you later. You're out enjoying your billions.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that the only, so there's a couple of things operating here. Number one, it's like the rumor comes out earlier in the week, right? And people like you and I just celebrate and we get really excited. And, I get hopeful about like the future of Star Wars, and like,
probably literally throwing a sale right now because of this. Like,
oh yeah, like, dude, no, for sure. I mean, bro, like, we got the band back together. The boys are back in town. Like, we're ready. I saw John Campion popped some champagne. Like, he was really excited too. So, like, a lot of people are excited about it. The problem is, I think her retirement is being played up a bit in the press.
Yeah,
and because she like, here's a question for you, man. Like, because to me, if she even retires, let's say she retires this year and she gives it to Carrie Beck and Dave Filoni, that's like a big rumor out there, or John and Dave, right?
John, dude. Like,
I would love John. But so let's say she does that.
I was on the show with Critical Drinker just a few hours ago, and they were saying that Feige is actually quite possible.
Well, I mean, that's in some of the reporting. So some of the Hollywood trades mentioned Kevin Feige, and I think I think the reason they're doing that is because a lot of Hollywood people don't trust Dave with the job, basically. Because he's an animator, he's a creative guy. He's never really run, the
Yeah.
studio, and
Yeah.
this job is kind of a boring job. It's not really like just producing movies and making movies, which is why Kathleen Kennedy doesn't even want to do it. She wants to just go produce movies and have fun.
Right.
The job's like annoying. You talk with like licensors, you talk with executives. It's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not a great job. So people don't think Dave could do that. So I've heard that a lot of people within sort of the more established Hollywood, like basically Disney people, they want Feige because they look at Marvel, they look at money, they look at what's going on with Star Wars, and they're like, no, it's a no-brainer. Like, get this dude, right?
Right.
I think that would be great. The problem is he's pretty occupied with currently what's going on with Marvel. He's kind of pivoting, right? They're turning things around, but it's, they have a lot of work to do. It's going to be crazy. I don't know if he has the capacity to do it, but look, going back to my question, I just want to ask you this.
Yeah.
Let's say she names successors, whoever, Dave and somebody, or maybe Kevin, but then we still get ultimately 3 or even just a couple of Ray movies, and Kathleen Kennedy's the producer. Does it really feel at that point like change has even happened, right?
No.
Like so
what if they're just putting her name on stuff and she's like out? She gone.
I would love to believe that that's what it is, and I'll go get my dog in a second. Sorry about that. I didn't know he's out there. But I would love to believe that. Oh, you don't hear it? Okay, good.
No.
Brother, I would love to believe that, but the problem is that all the evidence we have is that Kathy Kennedy is like weirdly powerful. Like, I don't even know why she's still there, to be honest with you.
I bet she got dirt on all those dudes from the 70s and 80s, man.
She either has incredible dirt or there's just too many connections to like her and Frank and like, because it's all like insular and Game of Thrones-y power plays over there. So for whatever reason, she's like, it's like the mafia. She's like a made man. Otherwise, I feel like she would have been whacked a while ago, literally, because of the performance of the brand, right? So I just can't believe that after all of this time, after her being so protected, and we all really think it's like ridiculous at this point, like even people that used to defend her are like, what's happening, right?
Yeah.
It's just hard to believe that then they would unceremoniously shoot her out, just allow her name to be slapped on something and not give her control, right? So it's like,
I agree.
It's tough to imagine that that's what's going to happen. Of course, that's that would be better, right? But I mean, look, it's kind of a bummer. I think ultimately the thing that we should take a second to consider is that this reunion was so powerful.
I know.
That Kathleen Kennedy had to drop an article in the Hollywood Trades a half hour before this.
Yeah.
Like that,
we have to get that out before Nerd Theory returns
because they didn't want, of course, because they don't want us like cheering it on and like celebrating and pushing the movement of like, oh, thank God and all of that. Right?
They want us to see that article. They want us to see that shit and talk about it. So everyone knows. We got over 3,200 people here right now. Chat's going insane. Everyone is. I got to say, everyone is like so happy to see us back. They're happy to see you. They missed you so much, and it's. I miss it, dude. It's been great.
Yeah, hell yeah. And the thing is, too, it's still like, I don't want to get down because of this new news, right? And I think we should still have a fun time talking about what Dave
bring the boys in. They'll give
like,
their 2 cents, and
and we should talk about like what Dave could do and like the future and positive shit, right?
Yeah.
I just want to say that, look, I was so pumped about this news that like I had to hit you up. We had to get back on here and like do our thing, and that it made me remember, despite being pretty cold on Star Wars and like downright like anti, kind of rude, honestly. I've been kind of toxic about it, to be honest. It made me realize that within oh no, I'm doing it on purpose. It made me realize that like deep down in there's still a part of me, man, that's like, dude, I just want to go to the galaxy far, far away. And
oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Still there for me. I always think there's hope. Always, because it's all it takes is one dude with the right vision and the respect for George to come in there and make 3 bangers, and we're right back. And we just ignore all of this other shit that happened.
I agree. And the other thing that's cool about this too is like, so let's say she does and she gets her Ray movies out. Like, let's say we still have a couple more years. Like, she's gone, but we still have to deal. there's still a scenario 6 years from now, 7 years from now, where she's not involved at all.
Yeah.
And there is good reporting to suggest that people within Disney want to do shit different with Star Wars. The problem is Kathy. Like, Kathy has crazy power. Kathy has like her own priorities. Like, she's a like a boss almost, you know what I mean, for change to
Yeah,
that company.
yeah.
So I think even if it's like Dave and Carrie Beck, who I would think would like, that's like my least favorite combination,
Who's
because
Carrie Beck?
Carrie Beck she's a producer. She's helped at Dave's with some stuff, but she used to be on the story group and stuff. And I think she like ride or die a little for Kathy. And it's like, I'm not crazy about it. If it's Carrie and Dave, I kind of feel like they're just going to carry on Kathy's legacy, especially if like
I think
Kathy's
it's gonna
literally
if it's
there
gonna
hovering
be.
over Dave. Like, that's kind of a problem. If it's John and Dave, I feel like we get new,
I
and
think it'll
that's
be like
great.
the business
If it's
woman.
Kevin and Dave, I feel like we get completely new,
Carrie Beck's
and that would be really exciting. Like, for me personally, I'd be pretty excited about that. But I think basically, bro, like, there's hope. Even if this isn't exactly the end, like, even if she's not exactly gone, we're closer than we've ever been, and there's hope. And I also think that like fan voices are still important in this conversation. Like, I don't like the idea of her sticking around. So, like, sure, Kathy, do your article, drop your shit in Deadline. Let us all know. And honestly, look, that was a strong article, lady. You know what I mean? I'll admit it. That was strong language. You're a powerful person. But I'm a fan on the internet. That's a nerd with a microphone. I'm still gonna tell you, you need to move the fuck on. You ruined this shit. I'm still gonna say that. I'm still gonna beat that drum.
You know what would be really
what I mean?
interesting is that if we actually had an interview with someone who's like a diehard Catholic, but like not just like a fan. I mean, someone who's been like working next to him and like, look, she has literally single-handedly made the shittiest decisions for this brand. The toy sales are down. Your streaming is down. No one gives a shit anymore. The only thing that's popping is the Jedi Fallen Order game.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that's probably losing sales too because of just the direction of Star Wars as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah. It could have been better if they had the company in better shape.
Oh, yeah, dude. Shit. I mean, it's unfortunate, but at least we got her saying that she has been planning a succession plan, which means that, yeah, she's definitely on her way out, and that means her power is going to be less. I'd say she's gonna be like Uncle June when he's on house arrest, and we're gonna get a Tony Soprano come in, kind of thing.
I actually have never watched The Sopranos, so I don't know exactly what the hell you're saying, but I'm gonna agree with you. I'm just gonna agree with you.
All right, well, let's bring the boys in. Chat, give one more round of applause for. He's staying on for a little bit longer, of course, but give one more round of applause because from here on in, it's gonna be the four of us joining in. So. A big welcome home to Josh, and hope he's going to be back for more.
Oh yeah, well,
maybe
if he actually leaves, we'll.
That's what I'm about to say.
Part two.
Maybe we do another show of Nerd Theory returning on Mondays, and then I got my show here on Thursdays.
Throwing that at me live.
I'm throwing it at you live, baby. Chat, would you want to see something like that? Put a little pressure on Josh.
Let's talk about it later, huh?
Put a little pressure on him. Hey,
is Star Wars even going to change though? Like we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. You know what else we got to talk about?
What?
Warhammer, man.
You still on that train?
Oh, bro, I'm so on that train. Bro, did you know? Let me tell you one thing real quick. The biggest YouTube video that I did last year, Warhammer video.
Really?
Almost 800K views.
Really? Well, how's your Warhammer channel? I have not checked
I only did 3 videos and I quit.
Oh, okay. And I quit.
But one of them was like almost 1 million views. You know what I mean? Like,
I know, right? That's hilarious. He's like, motherfucker.
Would you not want to upload all that on the main channel?
Oh, no, it probably wouldn't work. I mean, I talk about Warhammer all the time on my streams and stuff. Like, my community knows I'm really into it. I am actually going to try to do more content on that channel. And I told Nerd of the Rings, actually, that he and I are going to do a Warhammer podcast together. Okay. So we had like a bet. And basically, I told him if the Cavill thing, because Henry Cavill's supposed to do like a Warhammer thing. Yeah. I said, if that gets confirmed, because there were some questions to whether or not it would happen. I said, if that gets confirmed, I'll do a podcast with you, a Warhammer podcast. Literally the next day, it gets confirmed.
That's cool.
Isn't that crazy?
That's cool.
Yeah, it's super serendipitous. But like, to be honest with you, man, we're behind on that. We've missed like several meetings, and Matt's actually in New York right now. Doing some like Lord of the Rings content, but I am stacked to the gills with work, but we'll talk. Maybe we can figure something out.
Yeah, maybe we'll see what happens.
Maybe we figure something out. We talk about.
All right, everybody,
What up,
please
Daniel?
welcome
Spicy
the
Dan.
stupendous Wave, and of course, Dash Star. All right. Okay.
Fuck
I
you,
guess
Dash.
not
Nice.
Captain Kennedy. Hello, welcome to the stream. This is the first time all four of us are together.
I still
man.
never would have guessed
Kind of
that.
cool.
What's up, Josh? Nice to meet you, man.
This
Wave,
is what
up, man? It's
stupendous
good to
Wave
meet you.
looks
I know
like.
we spoke a little bit
Never would
in the
have thought
Twitter
swole
DMs
ginger.
recently because of that some bull crap.
Yeah.
Mm.
I feel like the Rebel Alliance discovering that there's a second Death Star. Like, that's how I feel.
Oh yeah.
right now.
About this Captain Kennedy news?
Yeah, like, holy
Yeah.
shit. Oh, I was so happy for like 2 days and they just took it right from us.
Yeah.
Salvation was that close.
I still
you
think
read?
she's I still think she's in, bro. I
Did you
still
read
think
the
she's
article?
I think she's gone. I don't know that the whole thing about her saying that she has a secession plan. Like, okay, clearly you're going somewhere.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, she's on the way out, but like, make no mistake, she dropped this article.
I just saw your message. Josh.
I think at a very, oh, you just saw it. I think she dropped it at a very specific time, and it's a strong rebuttal of the retirement. Like, I still think she's on the way out, but she dropped a big old interview, basically being like, "Oh hell no." So I mean, it's tough. Did you read the article, Wave? Did you like? What do you think?
No, I was just chilling and then Dash sent it to me and I was like, no, they're taking it back. It was so nice for a few days to believe that there was going to be a real change, but I don't know. I agree partially with theory that maybe
What's
there
wrong,
is going to be.
Stoops?
What's wrong?
You won't miss me? How inflammatory is
Hey,
this
he's
picture?
blushing.
It's so upsetting.
Yeah, it's pretty upsetting. I'm not gonna lie.
Who the hell
man.
does Dash
It's-
remind me of? Oh, thank you.
Dash, did you read the article? Did you dig in at all?
Who does he look like? To
Yes,
you?
sir. It's great to meet you, by the
He
way.
looks like
Obviously,
somebody,
we
doesn't
didn't
he?
get time. Look, I'll just read for 2 seconds. The middle of it, she says that she's been working on a retirement plan. She said, I am not retiring.
Huh?
I've been talking about it for quite some time with Bob and Alan, what an
Maybe.
eventual succession might look
I
like.
can't figure it
But I'm
out.
working on Mandalorian
shut
and
up.
the Sean Levy movie, and I have no plans of going anywhere. So basically, she's saying, we've spoken about it, but guess who's staying at least
He looks
until this
kind of
movie?
like Joe.
And then they said she's going to
Piscopo a little,
orbit for
but he
years.
also
So
looks
like,
Yeah,
You
if
do.
a,
He looks
if
like
a
Nicky
successor
Joey
doesn't
Fatone
do
and, like, two
well,
other
she
actors.
goes, well, I'm trying to help him. If they do well, she then gets
Yeah.
the claim of, well, I earned my paycheck and I was the one that set him up. It's
Alan
it's
Rickman.
brilliant.
Orbit. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
The jaw.
I know.
What
I'm an
did-
orbiter.
So what did
She's
you? We
literally
talked.
old.
We talked a little bit about this in the chat, Dash. But
Yep.
like, I'm just
Yep,
curious.
yep,
From Dash and Wave, like, what, am I crazy? Like, think about the timing of this. Like, isn't this crazy? Right about when we're
It's
about to have
crazy.
this show.
It's like 10 minutes before, right? Is
Yeah.
when it
Right.
dropped.
What's the word for serendipity? But it's kind of fucked up because that's what it is.
Yeah. No, 100%, dude. I was shocked, but also like kind of chuckled when I saw it because I was like, damn, like, that's pretty wild. Like, that is a pretty wild kind of narrative thing back and forth. And like, look, Theory is obviously the biggest Star Wars channel on the planet. And back in the day, he and I would definitely, rattle a little bit with our show, and we've made some noise with like the Pablo situation and some other things. So I feel like there's some people plugged in a little bit. So it's like, it's just kind of wild that this would be such strong language, such a strong kind of rebuke of the story that got us all here about a half hour before it comes out. I'm still, it feels almost like,
It's a chess move for sure.
yeah, it
Fucking
feels
cool,
like it's
man.
not
Calculated.
real. Yeah, it's weird.
Damn, what do you
Quell
think
the
about that, Josh?
uprising.
Oh, Snorehammer. Yeah, Cool Bear. I
Damn.
mean, look, he hears me talk about Warhammer all the time. I won't actually go there because I'll take like the whole conversation in a different
Holy
direction,
moly.
Damn.
It's a big super chat from Fro Productions. We're going to get to super chats in a bit. We have a ton to talk about, but this is the biggest one of the night. We don't often see Star Wars themed gym. Wait, have you thought about making workout gear under your brand? Oh, I mean, yeah. If you saw the vlog from a couple vlogs ago, that's something that I mentioned that I really want to do. It's like a boxing fitness lifestyle brand that I've had in mind for years.
Ooh.
I just have not pulled the trigger on it yet because I want to find the right material. I know the look. I just got to find the right material.
Cool.
Can I ask the
Sick.
look?
It's let's just say it's definitely more so 90s grunge athletic wear, distressed. It's dope. It's got a good
Okay.
message behind it.
Nice, because I find,
What's
now
up,
I'm
Justin?
edging closer and closer to my 40s. I don't go
You
for
edging?
so much the I'm edging, bro. It's
Motherfucker,
Jarkai
you're
all day.
in your 40s.
I
Don't
I
even
don't
try
go
and
for
tell me
like
you ain't in
the
your 40s,
smattering,
Dash.
like wear like full Vader on my shirt so much anymore. Like I like to be
Right.
more subdued, and I notice a lot of your gear, like your 66 or the 66. It's like if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of like that
Yeah, I like that.
crossover where I'm
I
not
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
plastered with everything. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't want to be loud. I want it to be like heavy weighted, not tight fitted, loose but tapered in certain areas. I have this idea, but it's got to be perfect. So right now, I mean, I'm so unbelievably busy with Theory Sabers and my team. It's like I don't have time for anything, but I'll find some cracks here and there.
Yeah, it's crazy. Um,
Cracks.
cracks. Yo, speaking of cracks, who do you guys think should take over for Kathy? Because I mean, despite the article, still a pretty good chance that she retires either late this year, maybe earlier this year, maybe late this year, maybe early next year. So who do you think it would be?
Listen, no one is saying this name, but I truly
There,
believe
I
that
turned him down some.
Stuart Beatty really
How's that
fits it.
sound?
Okay.
Like there
I
are
like
things about
Favreau.
the Kenobi trilogy that he has that I have learned about. I'll just say that much. About it, it's brilliant. Like he understands these characters so well. He knows how they should progress, where they've been, and where they should go. And he always has George's respect in mind. And I think that that is the best way to go about things. He has no sort of political agenda. He's just trying to tell a story about characters that
Cool.
have already been established and just sort of expanding on that. So I think Stuart Beatty is I don't know about president of Lucasfilm, but I think he should be someone that they should consult a lot. And if they don't, I mean, geez, they already hired him once, and then they fired him. And
So he
no,
was the writer that did the movie version of Kenobi. Is that
all
correct?
three,
Okay.
and
Yeah. No, I mean,
bro,
dude, he was a stud
unreal.
just from some of the stuff. Yeah, because didn't you? I want to say we did a show on that back in the day because like some of the stuff came out. Maybe he
Yeah,
did an
they did.
interview where he talked about like his version of Riva or something
Yes,
like
that's what
that.
happened.
I did an
Because I
interview
think
with
he
him.
still had Riva, but she was like actually seemed like cool, like the way he was gonna do
Yeah,
it.
so I did an interview with him, and there's stuff he asked me not to say publicly, but just know that this guy is the guy. This
I
guy
mean,
is
I
the
believe it.
guy. Like if there is any guy, I think he knows exactly what he's doing. Dave, I mean, you guys know I have been like the biggest Dave Filoni fan for forever. But
Yeah.
lately I've just really fallen out of love with the guy. to say
Okay. Any reason
to say
why? That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean, just like look at the direction that he took Ahsoka at the very end there.
Hmm.
Um, the hand that he had in the Mandalorian season 3. I mean, I don't, surface level stuff is all we can kind of see as a fan
Sure.
on the outside. We don't know what goes on the inside in the actual kitchen, but I just feel like he is supportive of like the acolyte.
Oh, you know what's
And
funny about that?
I
Can I tell you something?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Christian Harloff apparently, and I haven't seen these words actually come out of Christian's mouth, so I want to make that clear. But somebody told me that he had a report that when it came to Acolyte, Filoni came in and cut it all up because he said it was too dark. So whatever they were doing with Acolyte, with like a lot of that the stuff they were doing, apparently Dave came in and really cut that shit up and like was trying to get it in more of the tone of like the hopeful Star Warsy thing. And a lot of people say like that the show just kind of didn't work because of that. I mean, look, I think the show was ridiculous anyways, but
Shit, dude.
isn't that kind of interesting? So if that's true, I don't know. To me, that's kind of good because I actually would say, art taking what George had sort of set up with that in mind, absolutely. Like Star Wars can get dark and it faces real darkness, but it's not supposed to get to those subversive places of like darkness in the same way that some other content does, like The Boys, etc. Right? Those things don't match up, and I think I think what Leslie Headland was trying to do was kind of like a mature deconstruction, like fantasy fan film version of like what she's always wanted Star Wars to be. And it seems like Dave came in there and was like, nope, 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 nope. So yeah, I don't know. I wonder, what do you guys think of that?
I can't imagine it being much worse than what we got.
Yeah.
I mean, holy shit. The Acolyte is the worst thing that they've done easily. And
that's yes, something. The Acolyte is I think that the Star Wars' secret invasion.
Of, like, why I'm surprised Kathy is still here, just briefly touching on that, is that Star Wars hasn't had a theatrical release in like 6 years. And Star Wars is a theatrical franchise. Yeah. And I think it's absurd that she can still have her job when she's failing at the main thing they purchased Lucasfilm for. Obviously, they purchased it for merchandising, but you need the movie to funnel the fans into the merchandise. And I'm just astounded. Like, how can you be so bad at your job and just still remain? Like 6 years, we've not seen a Star Wars film. That's absurd.
Mm-hmm. I know, dude. It is absurd.
It's insane.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hearing 6 just out loud is crazy. 6.
I know.
6 years.
I want to give a quick big shout out to everybody in the chat. It's over 4,000 people live right now. Chat's going absolutely wild. We're loving the show. We're happy to see it.
What do you guys think? Because I'm a huge fan after Josh broke down about Kathleen's position and how it's a kind of a money man, not creative position. What do you think about the dual role? I love that DC got James Gunn for the narrative and then the money guy, sorry, I forget his name, to
Peter
handle
Safran.
that. Yeah, I love that idea. Just have somebody have that through line, because nobody can be strong in all places. I know I wouldn't want to do the money. I'd want to do the story. And so I think just get a James Gunn that's not like 60% less focused on comedy and, you know, like a great writer, like, what was it? Stuart Beatty, did you say?
Yeah.
And then get a money man like George who can just fight them off for him or something, team them up for 10 years and see how they go.
I think that's what the Carrie Beck thing would be. Like a lot of people think that's who it would be. Even if it was Kevin Feige, that's probably what it would be, right?
Yeah, see,
like Kevin would
Carrie Beck is a creative.
That side of the business, and Dave would just kind of handle it. You know, it's funny, like in some ways Dave is already steering the ship creatively because he became CCO a couple of years ago. And from what I've heard, he really now kind of has his plans finally in place with a lot of things, which is probably why Acolyte got cut up or whatever. But I think the dual role, if it's Filoni, I think it almost has to be the dual role. Exactly what you said, Dash.
I don't know. Still be able to hear it, but just real quick. I feel sullied after they announced that Filoni was going to take on more work because then
this is Carrie Beck.
Dropped, and it was
she's like, a creative executive.
We've learned nothing.
We need to pair.
Like you have this big announcement.
A business executive.
Everybody rejoices online.
Creative.
Finally, somebody that understands
this
Star Wars.
lady.
And then
is
it's
the business
like the
executive.
next thing.
Lin-Wen Brennan
is the worst thing ever. So at this point,
if it's going to be someone in there like that, then it needs to be Lin-Wen, not Carrie.
Make a good Star Wars anything, and then I'll be back on board.
Even if it's a Rey movie?
Even if it's a Rey movie. If the Rey movie is great, I'd rather have a good Rey movie than no Star Wars movie.
That's true. That's fair. I think that's a fair point because, look, one of the things she mentions in that article is the Sean Levy movie. And that movie's interesting. Have you guys talked about that at all? Like the rumors around that?
Which one is that? I know I just read a headline that said it's 5 to 6 years after.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's got to be her plus Dave.
Sean Levy's the guy that did Deadpool and Wolverine. He did the Real Steel movies. I believe he did the Atom Project. Maybe Free Guy as well. Really
Stranger
fun.
Things is the
Stranger Things.
One
he did some Stranger Things for sure.
He loves Ryan Reynolds. Let's just say that.
He loves Ryan Reynolds for sure. So that guy has been attached.
That might not be a plus anymore these days after what Ryan's wife has been up to lately.
And the rumors are that it is supposed to involve Rey, although I think the rumors
what up, Delta Dan?
Like much older, so she'd be like an Obi-Wan-esque figure in the movie. And I don't
thought that was
think
the Ryan Gosling project. Sorry to jump in.
That is the Ryan Gosling project. Yeah, that's the same project. So Gosling
is
rumored to be correct. Yeah. So Gosling is rumored to be attached to that movie as potentially Rey's Padawan or something like that. Yeah. So I mean,
that's why I don't even have it on screen, Delta Dan. I refuse.
It's hurting him. It's hurting him.
Dude,
a 47-year-old Padawan.
Yeah, what's the reaction? He's too old.
It's giving me hope. I'm like, I can be a
way
paddle.
too old.
Damn, dude. They're just making.
What's up,
all
mate?
right, let's.
So wait, I gotta know Wave. What was that reaction about, brother?
I just hate that idea. It's like you got to bring in the big name actor. Obviously, they got to
Yeah.
pair it up with their character that they made, and she's gonna be the smart one. She's gonna
mad
guide
respect to
Ryan
Stupendous
Gosling
Waves
to
fucking
You nailed it.
bullshit
Dream Team
path.
T-shirt
You
he's
could write
wearing
this,
though.
dude.
Fucking Larry
Just keep
Bird,
going.
That's
Magic,
exactly what it is.
Michael.
But here's
Hell
the
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Golden Age
that
of
could be a
basketball, baby.
constantly made movie. Sean Levy is good. They can do heart well. I mean, look, I think it's here's the thing about
like Free Guy is such a popcorn, mind-numbing movie. Like I just feel
Literally.
yeah,
nothing
it is.
watch any of them.
But have you
I
seen the
I'm
Real
not gonna
Steel
go at
movies?
you. Pardon?
Have you seen the Real Steel movies?
I have not. I have not.
So those have surprising heart. Those have Hugh Jackman as the lead. That's kind of where he hooked up with him. And I thought Deadpool and Wolverine, for its faults, did actually nail the humanity and the heart. I think that's kind of like why both Kathy was attracted to him as the director, because she felt like his tone maybe matched well with Star Wars, and also probably why Sean wants to do it. Because here's the other thing that's crazy. Like, bro, you just made Deadpool and Wolverine. Every door just opened. You could do anything. You could do more Marvel.
we
you
had
could do
that
X-Men.
discussion. But that, like, a
Do
nutless monkey could have done that. They just self-referenced Wolverine enough and did a buddy cop thing, and it dragged. Like the movie wasn't. I love Deadpool 2. I love number 1.
Sure.
3 was just fan service bundled up. I feel like, and you look at the
Absolutely.
ratings now after all the hype died down. It's 70% compared to the other ones that are like 90 because they're.
Oh yeah, no,
I don't know,
I totally
dude.
agree with you. I totally agree with you.
I get if you're looking at, like, let's pretend we're money men. You see Stranger
Mhm.
Things, you see that he can sell like billions of dollars worth of. I get the impetus behind them going, let's contact this guy, let's get some Disney money in his pockets. But for me personally, and I'm being selfish here, I think that's like the dumbest thing. Like it's going to be a popcorn bubblegum, no
Yeah,
no
you're right.
substance meaning. That's just me.
I can't think of a movie farther away from tone than Star Wars than Deadpool and Wolverine. And I really
fair,
like
yeah.
that movie.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the
that's fair.
tone of Deadpool and Wolverine, like you were saying, referencing all the history of the Fox films, all the history of, Ryan and Hugh working together, that's all great. But Star Wars, you got to stand on your own, especially at this point. And they're so afraid to do that. I mean, we're still watching Stormtroopers. They bought it in 2012, and we can't move on from just like basic aesthetics. Like it has to aesthetically look the same. And now I just picture in my head more Stormtroopers, a bunch of jokes, and something that feels nothing like Star Wars. And so,
You know
I
what?
would love to be proven wrong.
Wolverine and Deadpool felt like the entire movie's tone, and it was fun, but the entire movie's tone was literally that one moment in The Last Jedi where he made the mama joke.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing, just goofy.
It's funny because
I'm
I
like-
actually have never been in a group of people also negative towards Deadpool and Wolverine. But to be honest with you,
No, I didn't mind it.
I'm not.
Whatever.
I'm not really going to defend the movie. I actually like.
I'll defend it.
It was good for Marvel. It was good for Marvel fans, and there's a lot of stuff I like in it. But I found it to be like when I first walked out of it, I actually wasn't as pumped as I wanted to be. I went to see it with like a good friend and like a good crowd, and like the next time it was just like more cheering for all the cameo shit. It's a good
Yeah, it was
ride,
fun.
you know what I mean? It's fun. But yeah, no, I feel you on that. I'm also, I gotta be honest, guys, I'm surprised that y'all are that down on the Sean Levy Star Wars movie. I hope Kathleen Kennedy's watching this podcast because she's literally putting her whole legacy on the line doing this thing that she's it's gonna happen.
She didn't even know we had source material. She didn't know we had Legends books and comics
But
and
she
games.
knew we were gonna go live at 8 p.m.
That's true.
tonight,
She's like,
you
I
know
have
what
to
I
get this out. Probably one of her like PR people was like, we have to get this out before those doofuses get on that stream. It's like, well,
Yeah.
all right, now we're gonna talk about it, and now we still want you to like leave because you've just shit on the brand for so long, so many times, so many years.
Yeah.
Well, Sean might be the best they can
terrible.
actually get a hold of
I,
because they've been
saw,
fucking up for so long.
Heavy Spoilers had a really interesting tweet about it that I think really puts it into perspective. Because look, Kathy has been very successful in a lot of ways, right? But if you think about The Force Awakens and $2 billion, and then you think about shows getting canceled and then shows can't even chart. So we went from Acolyte, which couldn't even warrant another season of itself, to Skeleton Crew, which didn't chart one time. I mean, I know a lot of you guys like Skeleton Crew, but literally like nobody watched that.
Oh, I know.
Less than Andor, right?
Yeah.
So like it's crazy to go from $2 billion to canceled shows, and you can't even chart with the Star Wars IP. Like, so if you can't like just put that into perspective and see how far it's fallen, I don't, you're just not arguing.
You two are
That's what I'm
hilarious.
saying. No, this woman does not have any clue what she's doing, and she had so many people that she hired and then got rid of them. So like, what happened to all these announced projects that we were supposed to get? Remember back in like I think 2019 or something like that. We got this big chart of all these movies that we were going to get.
Stage. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, not that I wanted it, but there was a droid movie, a Lando movie. I mean, these things have completely disappeared from existence.
Well, those are two really bad ideas.
Terrible ideas.
For sure, terrible ideas.
The Game of Thrones writers. I mean, there were so many projects. What happened with the Taika Waititi? There was a Ryan Johnson trilogy. There was Kevin Feige.
Rogue Squadron.
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
Lando.
There's just the wrong person is president of Lucasfilm.
Yeah, that's the truth, and I think there are people at Disney that feel the same way. But I think again the problem is that Kathy has crazy power in Hollywood. Like it just is what it is. It's weird because
why
to all of us, I don't really
weird.
know why. I don't know why, but
no one knows why. It's genuinely a gigantic mystery because you can't mess up this bad for that long and still be the boss if there's not anything going on behind the scenes.
Got the Epstein list, baby.
Yeah,
she got that under her fingertips.
I mean, look, I don't know if it's like that, but it feels like it is borderline like that. Like,
like we're got a picture of like Steven Spielberg and George Lucas naked next to each other holding hands. Yeah, she's like, "What are you gonna do?"
That's what it feels like.
Exactly.
Fucking Dash.
Like, I'll blow
what
this
the hell?
Fucking town up. You know what I mean? Like,
I didn't think you were gonna end the sentence that way. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think there's definitely something going on with Kathy. She's either just that respected or there's something going on. And this article and this rebuttal is like basically telling nerds like us, don't get too excited. Mommy's still sticking around.
That's exactly what it is.
Exactly what it feels like.
It's a pointed address. You know, I'm making this till I die. She even said that.
Yeah, that's wild.
She literally kind of said that.
That is a crazy statement. That is a crazy thing to make.
That's crazy. She's like, I'm here till I'm gone.
And when I die, I'm going to come back and haunt you. And you're like,
deal with it.
She's going to make AI Kathy. And
she's already haunted us through living. I mean, what do you mean? Through her movies.
She's in the walls, brother. I don't know what you're talking about. She's in the walls. This is crazy. Like I thought I was out. Now I'm back in, and they're dropping articles on deadline before the show. Theory, what the hell's happening?
I don't know, bro. You say you haven't seen The Sopranos, but every time I leave, what do we say? Every time I step
that wasn't The Sopranos. That was The Godfather. That's Godfather 3.
Sure. I gotta watch that show.
I just
Theory.
You're gonna love it.
I think it has one of the best final seasons of any TV show I've ever seen. Maybe the best final season.
So I should definitely get on this thing then, huh?
Yeah,
dude, I did nothing else but watch The Sopranos for 3 weeks. I'd say maybe 4, and I finished the whole thing.
Nice.
I'm done.
It was
you can't
insane.
do that when you have kids, man. You know what I mean? Like my son will just run up to me and headbutt me in the nuts.
You'll have one eye on the TV.
That's just an afternoon hello.
How old is he now?
Dude, he's almost 2.5. Can you fucking believe
crazy,
dude? And he's so big, brother. Like, I mean, he was always big, but like, it has not stopped. He's a monster, but he's a gentle giant. You know.
Yeah.
Good kid. And then the baby girl, man.
In the nuts.
I mean, like, it's funny because like kids, like, do you guys have kids at all? Dash, do you have kids?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, dude, like, like they get a lot of joy from like wrestling with dad, and like, you know what I mean, like being aggressive and like just goofing off or horseplay or whatever. Like they absolutely love that stuff. They get more pleasure just in comfort from mom, but like with dad, like they want to go crazy. And my son, he loves wrestling, being thrown around, fighting, parrying and stuff like that. It's a good time.
That's awesome. Is he going to play sports?
If he wants to, yeah. I mean, I think he's going to play sports when he's young. either way. Like we're gonna put him in stuff because I think it's just good for social skills and whatnot. But ultimately, like when he gets older, if he doesn't want to do sports, it's fine. It's just gonna whatever he does. I just basically want him to do something and to put his heart into it. And as long as he's doing that, it could be whatever. It could be a theater kid. I don't really care. Whatever he wants to do.
Ballet.
Ballet, fine.
Yeah.
Bruce Lee did ballet. It's
Yeah.
whatever you want to do.
You've thought about this.
Of course. Because the worst thing is, what if he wants to cheer for Ray movies and stuff? So you gotta think about these things as a father. How's that conversation gonna go? I don't know. I don't know what the adoption laws are. I don't know how you get rid of a kid. So we'll see.
I'm gonna be in Cleveland next month, by the way. I don't know if you're anywhere around there.
I am near Cleveland, brother. I am
crazy.
Near Cleveland.
Yeah, we're gonna be at Cleveland Fan Expo.
Oh, cool. Yeah, hit me up. I'm actually literally like 2 hours away.
Crazy. Okay.
Yeah, right now.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, let me know.
Huh. Shit, feels good. Feels good to be back.
Yeah. No, it's been even though it's been a weird, like in some ways I'm still processing it. It's just so funny. Like life can sometimes seem like a simulation. I told Elisa, I was like, yeah, I reached out to Theory. Kathleen Kennedy's gone. Like we're gonna, do a little reunion. It's gonna be really fun. And then look, there were rumblings of this on Tuesday, and I kind of covered it on my stream where I was like, ooh, it might not be what we thought, guys. But to drop a deadline article, she basically made it so we had to talk about it. It's what I mean? Like it would have been wrong to ignore it. So I was shocked. I saw the article and I was like, wow, this cannot. I think I even tweeted. I was like, there's no way Kathleen Kennedy dropped an interview a half hour before Nerd Theory reunion.
Which is
like that. There's just no way.
That's some insane timing.
There's no way that happened. And yet it did.
Fucking happened.
I don't think it's a coincidence.
I don't think so either. I think they want us to be.
You guys are her biggest op. One of them.
We're not an op. We just want her to make good Star Wars. So, like, she could stay for all I care, just as long as she just completely makes some good shit. Like
impossible at this point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is impossible, but it's like just make good stuff. That's all it is.
I don't think she wants to. I think she wants to make her stuff.
She wants to make an agenda.
I don't think she cares what
she wants.
I don't think. I know she doesn't care what we think about it because
there is a succession plan in place.
You don't follow up the sequel,
and it's being actioned.
If you care about,
it's just not leaving as quite as soon as it first appeared.
I mean, I've always viewed Kathy as a person that doesn't really understand Star Wars. She understands Hollywood and movies, but she also understands them from an era of like the 70s and 80s. So she's even to that, she's like out of touch. I think, like, I'll never forget watching the documentary for The Last Jedi. I think it's
Let me engage in my delusions. I engage in so few.
It should almost play like Curb Your Enthusiasm music when it begins, because Kathleen Kennedy comes out on stage and it's the rap party for The Last Jedi. And she's on stage and she's like, I think we all know we just did something truly special and meaningful and shit like that. They were so high on their own farts about that film. And I think she really felt like she had done the impossible. She had like pushed Star Wars forward in this visionary, mythological way while recontextualizing it, modernizing it, like all of these different things. I really feel like she thought that she had cracked the code.
She thought she did something.
Yeah, and it broke.
She didn't. No, she absolutely destroyed everything.
Those videos of her and Ryan Johnson make me so angry, man. Like, I know exactly the videos you're talking about, but like when they're talking about this isn't the Star Wars
I'll go over it later.
Or like Ryan really made something really great. Or it's like it's gonna usher in a brand new era. It's like, oh my.
Bro, were any of you guys at was it Chicago? Yeah, Star Wars Celebration Chicago. Theory, I know you were there. Were you guys there?
Yeah.
Dash.
Yeah, the episode 9 panel. Is that what you're gonna talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It was the same script.
I think back to no, it was Last Jedi panel right before Last Jedi was about to come.
Oh, okay.
Because remember we got those posters, the sick one with the red, like that poster was actually pretty cool. But the thing that's weird, I always think back to this because Mark Hamill was like super grumpy in that panel, and you can find videos of it where like Kathy says stuff like, "I want to be clear, he's really important to the movie." Like she literally had to like,
I remember,
kind of correct some
and then
stuff.
He said something, and she's like.
Yeah, and he was like, "Oh, well, that's good to hear." Like he was being snarky as fuck, and at that time, he was still really salty about what they did with him because remember, he had in his contract two things: he had to be in all three of the movies, and they weren't going to be cameos. And they literally fucked him. They
Yeah.
literally
Just like
fucked
they
him.
did George. And
Yeah, dude.
people like I'm so happy that there's a lot of us that see this of what they did to George. I mean, like when he was signing the freaking contract away
Yeah, man.
to Bob Iger. And like
That's a hard video to watch.
that video where it's him, Kathleen Kennedy, and there's someone else there too. I forgot who.
Mickey.
Maybe just maybe. But you could just see that she is so full of shit as he is talking about what really matters to Star Wars. And she's like, we're gonna really honor all of his stories,
dude.
and doesn't. I just think it's the biggest bullshit, bogus, disrespectful move, and I think we are the only fans, all of us, you, the stream here, everybody watching, that really give a crap about Star Wars and see the truth of the matter. That we don't want to hate Star Wars. We love it, and we love it, I would say, more than anybody else on this earth. And we want to see it succeed, and we want to see it go back to what it was when we were kids. And that isn't to say like, oh, it's just nostalgia. No, it was a true story. And when we were kids is when George Lucas was in charge of it. Because by the time I was 22, he had already sold it. So we just need to take it back to what it was. And that can only be done with the right people, unless George comes back again. It can only be done with the right people who have his vision in mind and aren't trying to do some political bullshit every single step of the way. It is disgusting. And then if you don't like it, you're racist. And like, fuck what they've done to the brand. These people are horrible.
I see people talk about that a lot, like, politics in Star Wars. And, Star Wars is political, but we're not getting politics in Star Wars nowadays. We're getting identity politics. And I feel like those are two different things that people need to separate in their minds. That, like, people say, oh, they call them stormtroopers. That's how much more political than can you get? Well, it's like, yeah, those are the bad guys, you idiot, and then with the acolyte and it's that's identity politics like crazy. You have like 90 moms who miraculously conceived these two children before Anakin. That's not political. That's identity politics. There's a clear separation between those two things, and I get so frustrated when people just use the blanket statement of politics. Like, yes, but no.
Stoops, those people know exactly that they have zero argument. So they have to skew what they're saying to make it sound like, oh, what do you mean? There's politics in Star Wars forever. We're not talking about real world, timeless politics of the little guy versus the big guy. That's politics. Yeah. We're talking about identity politics. We're talking about literally basing a story around identity politics and shit that doesn't matter in Star Wars. It's supposed to be a galaxy far, far away. Like, what are we doing here? Like, why can't we just make stories about character progression and things that we care about, things that are relatable, that can give a little boy or girl some inspiration for their life to make the right decisions or go down a certain path when they're feeling confused or where they maybe don't know where to go. No one cares about the color of the skin of the character or their sexual identity or any of this weird shit that doesn't matter when it comes to telling a story and igniting someone's soul so they feel motivated to battle life's bullshit.
You know what hurts a lot is it feels like the leaders of Lucasfilm are targeting the characters that the fans love the most and slowly, bringing them down. Like they did it with Luke, and that was awful. And they did it in a more subtle way with the Acolyte, because, when you have another miraculous birth and another miraculous Force conception, you're lessening the impact of the Anakin figure, and that's intentional. It's completely intentional. So not only are you making bad Star Wars, but you're actively trying to lessen the impact of what's there before. There's no respect. There's no love. There's no understanding. And I'm just, that article made me so more than anything, I'm just bummed.
You can see the logic behind it though, because Han was washed up in The Force Awakens, Luke nowhere, and Leia also Leia also was not prime. And so
for some reason I thought you meant at the end of Return of the Jedi, and I'm like, brother, wait, what? But no. Sorry, yeah.
No, so but to elevate their new characters, they thought they had to denigrate and to lessen the legacy characters, and the amount of snark they had when people said we want to see the legacy characters, and they're like they're pathetic and old. Like they basically said that. Yeah, the audacity, like it was baffling.
Yeah, it was baffling.
You want to go to Galaxy's Edge and see them? Piss off.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
For real. You know what's crazy too? Like
Insane.
just to sort of comment on the like political discussion, because I know people feel differently about this. And even I have felt differently about this over the years, right? Like how political should Star Wars be? Should it be a direct allegory or whatever? I want to say about a year ago, I did a stream where I framed it as like going back in time, and I watched a bunch of interviews and the old trailers for the actual release of Empire and Return of the Jedi, because Star Wars itself was kind of such a phenomenon.
Oh, I remember when you did that.
And everybody was like, "Oh, it's all crazy." But then when the other ones came out, like it was a big deal. So like all the news people were really aware that the next one was coming out and they wanted to do stories. One of the things that I found that was fascinating, and I wasn't looking for this, I didn't expect it, but it was fascinating, was that a lot of the like either ABC, like the big networks, the big American networks, when they were talking about the movies, they made a point to talk about how they were non-political. Like they literally said in the way that they talked about the movie, and this is just like you're sitting at the breakfast table watching the morning news in the 70s and 80s for these movies, and then who's his face in a sharp suit talking to Jimmy so whatever that likes the Star War or whatever, right? But I found it fascinating that message kept being repeated. Like I wasn't looking for this, I was like not expecting it, and I was like, wow, like even then, when the movies were at the height of their popularity, the original trilogy, they were spoken about as like, don't worry about your politics, or don't, worry about this, just go escape. Like that's literally what the whole thing was. And it's actually like out there. You can look this up. You can find this for yourself. And it's like so clear that people that say, Star Wars is political, so all the stuff they're currently doing is therefore okay because I can put it under the banner of political. They're just being so disingenuous to what Star Wars actually is, how it even got the appeal that it got in the first place. Because like look, it's one thing if you want to put messaging into your product or your show or whatever, but when you purchase an IP for billions of dollars that has an established fan base, you purchase it because it has that established fan base. That's like something you think you can leverage and monetize. So like why would you then try to change it? Like it kind of doesn't make sense. And so I think just from a basic level of trying to lean into the identity politics just as a strategy of changing it from like, again, go back and watch those interviews. It was literally sold on American televisions around the country as non-political. Why would you change it? Why would you make it so directly allegorical to political things that were really hot button topics? I mean, the culture war at the time was raging, right?
Yeah.
So it's just, I think it was, even if you try to characterize what Kathy did just from a strictly business perspective, it's still stupid. Like it was very stupid what she did, and we're paying for it. So
one of the things politically that I think that they are really failing to capitalize on, though, is like the easy stuff that would make sense, like aliens in the Rebel Alliance, for example. One of my huge problems with Andor is it doesn't feel like Star Wars because there's no aliens. Sure. I'm not in. Yes. I'm in a galaxy far, far away, but it's just a whole bunch of guys and girls that look just like me. This doesn't feel whimsical and great. But part of why so many alien species joined the Rebel Alliance is because they were being discriminated against and hated against by the Empire. So there's this obvious one that would really resonate and would be super accurate and appropriate, and they just blatantly choose to disregard that. And that is also confusing. And that just leads me to think that they truthfully have no idea what to do. I full-heartedly believe that it just has to be sheer incompetence at this point.
Do you remember Kenobi when they did that? And I was like, wait a second. When all the younglings went from the myriad of aliens to just like a rainbow of humans. And I was like, son of a bitch, they did it. Why? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why they do it. I understand the logic of it is if you're not that competent and, well, they say that evil cannot create it. It can only manipulate and destroy. So you buy an IP and you go, well, I want to release things and make money, but I don't have the capacity to create something truly original, or like George, I don't want to recreate the wheel for the next 20 years of people. Anyway, so what you do is you go, well, what do people care about right now? And then you shoehorn the shit
Yep.
out of it into whatever it
100%.
is. And then he said,
Yeah.
look what I've created. And that segment of the audience will then fight on your behalf and say anybody who doesn't like it is evil. And you've got a PR team of crusaders. I get it. I don't
With
like it. It's
bots
very
and everything.
disingenuous.
It was
yeah,
bad
it's horrible.
strategy. Yeah. No.
They get
Yeah.
so mad
I
too.
love that.
If you have a different
Yeah.
opinion, it's just like they go straight to like, what'd you say? It's not like, oh, I disagree. Here's why. It's
Oh,
like,
it's nuts.
yeah,
It
there's
is
no
nuts.
middle
Yeah.
ground. There's no
Theory
middle
got
ground.
the worst of it.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. no,
I'm
he's-
mostly getting mad because of things I've read
Right.
about theory.
I literally
yeah,
get
yeah.
some guy the other day what was like, I'll never forgive Theory for. I was saying this on Drinkers. I'll never forgive Theory for not allowing us to see more Plagueis or something in a season 2. I'm like, what the fuck? How the hell did I cause that?
I
Wait,
saw
are you-
that, I think. Yeah.
That was such
Yes,
a
I
stupid
remember
They
that.
were
cameo.
blaming
That's
you for the cancellation.
In-
Such a whack cameo
insane.
where he's just
Dude.
like creepering around the.
Bullshit.
It's the worst cameo that I've seen.
That was
It is the
It's
worst show
horrible.
ran by, I would say, some of the shittiest people I've ever met. The most intolerant,
Mm.
psychotic. If you don't like what I like, then you are racist, incel, bigot,
Yeah.
whatever, everything.
And the thing is, like, look, there's
It's like-
not everybody's that hardcore and extreme, but obviously there's a ton of people that are. And when you make your thing about that and you sort of connect it to those issues, like you're just bound to get that kind of conversation. So it's like, and this is the thing, is like we've all been having the same conversation about Kathleen Kennedy for like 6 years. It has literally only gotten worse. And yeah, this is a big part of the problem, was like the sort of shift into the female centric stuff, identity politics, all these sort of things. And then just not being able to actually competently produce on top of that just made it worse, to the point now where it's like, it's so obvious that she needs to move on. And I guess she kind of is, but then again, she drops this big article where she's like, nah, like mommy's sticking around.
This is why I think that independent filmmakers, comic book writers are the future. So it is, not just YouTubers, but people, normal people, everybody that can just go ahead and make their own either fan film or movie and scale it up and get bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where they're making massive films that speak to people and resonate with people's souls, that aren't some corporate shit, some slop made by a bunch of suits telling you what to do. I think that's really the future, is, our own stories that we are in control of. Or one-man show, one-woman show, whatever.
Yeah,
That's the
I agree.
future.
I think there's some hope for some decent Star Wars. Like I'm excited for Ahsoka season 2. I'm cautiously optimistic about the
In order for
Mandalorian and
that to
Grogu, although
happen,
like the plot leaks for that movie sound
you're
so
gonna
good.
need
It
AI.
really is. But
What up, Brennan?
and look, Dave's movie, if he ends up doing an Heir to the Empire thing and Thrawn's actually badass, like hell yeah, I'll enjoy the shit out of that. But I think we might have to literally wait for a new visionary, for like some new filmmaker, some younger person, like kind of what you're describing, but then like they love Star Wars and they want to go save it or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because you would almost need like Denis Villeneuve. Like I love his stuff and I really like what he does with Dune. He's never doing Star Wars. He's not interested in it. But you almost would need somebody like Denis, that's just a very competent filmmaker, understands tone and how to create emotion, loves Star Wars, but has like their own version of it. And maybe we have to wait like 5 to 10 years for that. But I think that's always a possibility. I mean, because they could fuck this thing up so bad. Like maybe they make the Rey movie with Sean and nobody watches it, it bombs, and then they're like, well, what the fuck do we do now? Then they'd have to find a new vision or something. Right?
I think genuinely, within the next 5 years, AI is going to get so good. I've been calling it the Star Wars fan universe, or Star Wars FU. The FU.
Yeah, right. Exactly, Brennan.
People are going to take control, and their ideas will be able to be made at scale. Like we've got theory now to do like the level that's
I already said that,
like,
Dash.
the everyman, like
Just,
you said. I think
y'all saw that, right? That I already talked about
last
AI.
stream. Stoops came up with the greatest. What was it? Echo Base horror film, just off the cut. I was like, man, this thing's, I want to see this. People have been messaging saying, I want to see this thing come to life. And I'm like, in 5 years, it could, So I don't think we can wait on Disney, but for the everyman who doesn't want to get involved, I get that it's like, well, either the fans do it or Disney may do it, but what hope do you have when we can't trust Disney to do it at this point?
Yeah. Definitely agree with that. It's like I like Dave. Like again, I really like Dave, and I think he's literally done
Delta
some of the
Dan,
best
like,
stuff
I
that
talk
Star
to
Wars
you,
has
man.
done in the past 10 years. Like he has done literally some of my favorite shit. So if it's Tales, episode 5 of season 2 of Mando, or Ahsoka, like I think episode 6 of Ahsoka is like one of my favorite pieces of Star Wars that I've seen in a long time. Like that shit was hype. And then it kind of falls off in the last 2, right? But like David can do that. And so I'm excited to see Dave potentially do more stuff. And maybe there's a way like it actually starts to feel a lot like Star Wars, and then they have a cohesive thing moving forward. I don't know. I could see it, but
you don't know who's at the top, right? Like, sorry,
the thing,
you want to go first?
No, go for it. No,
well,
you're saying what I was going to say.
Well, the Book of Boba Fett, I did not love that, but Robert Rodriguez, who made Desperado in the 90s, was such a good film. When he had the King Kong scene in Book of Boba Fett, and it was just like this smash of shit, and Filoni was involved, I was like, who's making it looks like that stupid whiteboard where they were throwing ideas at it. Like, if somebody that competent can make something so terrible, you go, who is controlling them, if that makes sense? So you could be right. It could be just cutting the head off and letting competent writers and directors and all those people have their vision come to life and not make speeder bike chases on mopeds or whatever.
Yeah, it's so weird. And, like Marvel and Star Wars both have had similar issues too, right? Like it's really weird how, because in 2019, Disney did 9 different billion-dollar movies. So they were just like at the height of their shit, and like Marvel looked like it would never stop. You know what I mean?
Stop, right. Like, Endgame hype was, you could taste it.
It was
I can't
so
believe
good.
how badly Marvel has dropped.
Yeah, it's wild, right? And it's like, what? So like, what?
Still not as far as Star Wars has.
Because I would actually argue, and I don't know if you
not
guys
even
agree with this, but I actually think the Disney Plus shows have made Star Wars worse. So like, it was already bad after the sequel trilogy. I think it's gotten worse because of just so much bad in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
I'm Disney Plus has been the downfall of both of those franchises.
It's the clear culprit for sure.
Oh,
I mean, Disney, they started with the Marvel Disney Plus shows, and Marvel instantly went downhill because they saw how much money they could make. The places like Netflix or even Max, which I think is one of the better streaming services. But with Star Wars, again, they put all their eggs into Disney Plus because they had success with Mando, and they were like, okay, we don't have to do these like huge theatrical releases. We can build our brand on Disney Plus. But the issue is when 80% of your shows are bad and you're not going on the big screen, and all of your resources are dedicated to these smaller projects, when you have the Acolyte that has a bigger budget than Dune Part 2 did. Holy shit. But anyway.
Well, dude, and they're about to spend, they spent $700 million basically on Andor.
What?
Yeah, like 675. Yeah. Dude, like that is absurd.
No aliens.
Bro, that's fucking great. Yeah, no aliens.
It's a talking show. They just talk.
$800 million. And I hate that show, by the way. So like I'm on the outside on that. I know a lot of people like Andor. I fucking hate Andor.
Why do you hate it? Is it don't say bricks and nails or whatever?
I mean, I don't like the bricks.
So see Theory's face. He's like, you're out.
No. To me, it's just like, it's not Star Wars. Like it feels it feels like an Andy Sorkin show or something, like really sophisticated.
Aaron Sorkin.
You know, it doesn't feel like Star Wars. It doesn't have the mythology, doesn't have the adventure. For me, it feels like a corporation literally kind of almost doing Mad Libs, where they were like, yo, we could do like a sort of True Detective Andy Sorkin thing with this character from this thing and put it together. I absolutely hate it. I know I'm on the outside of that. A lot of people enjoy it. But even if you like Andor, brother, there ain't no way that spending $90 million on Kenobi and $700 million on 2 seasons of a show that was so poorly viewed that they had to put it on ABC and Hulu to boost its numbers.
Yeah.
Like, it's so crazy to me what they're spending on these shows.
Just to touch on your point, one of the things I feel the same.
Pause.
I like Andor, but I have that same problem where there's this intangible. You cannot put your finger on it, but it doesn't feel like Star Wars. Like there's something out of universe. I feel like Rogue One was a step closer to what it should be. But like Andor just feels out of pocket, and you're like, something's off. I like it.
I can tell you all the things that are off, brother. Like I'll tell you one example, just one example here, and this really brings it clearly. Okay, you like Grief Karga?
Yes.
He would. Yeah. Do you know how he's like Mando, and he's all like
Mando.
It's almost like opera.
They all hate you, Mando.
Performs.
Rest in peace, Carl Weathers.
Star Wars. Andor doesn't have anything like that. It's literally people talking about like cereal. And like with actual just regular diction. Like it's not space opera. It's like a sophisticated, talkie show that just happens to exist in Star Wars. George, they used to say, you could write that stuff, but you couldn't say that stuff. His own actors had a lot of trouble with his dialogue because it's so operatic. It's so over the top. It's so big and grand. And the way that those movies are supposed to work is like grand scene or build up to grand scene. And Andor has none of that. It has none of that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I love hearing other people's thoughts because it's hard for me to figure out because I love the EU, and one would say
that's me there. Like
vision.
Frequently, I need to hear other people speak stuff.
Like Star Wars and a new breath of life into it. The Bane
and
novels,
then
even say the Sith kind of
certain things will resonate. It's like, okay, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Media that wouldn't fall into George's more narrow.
That's why I watch.
I would say the hero's
journey
like
kind
of thing, but they still feel like Star Wars to me. So I don't know
people
how
with,
they fall out of that
greater insight that I can learn from and help me clarify what's going on in my brain. Like I didn't realize what I didn't like about the sequel trilogy.
Say why.
It's hard to pin down, isn't
it? Like I just knew they made me. I just knew the movies made me feel a bit weird, but I could not. It didn't coalesce until I heard like these guys talk about.
Like I like Andor. I think the acting's great. I think the sets look great. But there is something to be said, and the effects in Andor are just beautiful. But there is something to be said about it. I know I brought up the aliens earlier. I feel like aliens are an integral part of Star Wars, and the fact that they're absent is just strange.
All right, y'all, I'm going to pee.
I'll be right back.
Like
the creatives didn't want to make a Star Wars show.
No, that's the thing. He said more than half the time I didn't think I forgot I was making something Star Wars.
Well, he did, Tony Gilroy doesn't like Star Wars. Like he said he's on the record saying that. So like he didn't even approach it that way. Like he didn't even really try to make it Star Warsy, So it's
literally just a show within the confines of Star Wars in terms of the Death Star being made. That's it.
Star Wars skin.
Yeah, but like I hate everything about it, man. Like I hate that show. I hate how sophisticated it thinks it is. I the new trailer, right? I hated that trailer. The music is not Star Wars whatsoever. Some terrible weird ass folk rock thing. Terrible.
Oh, that was painful. That was mean.
It was so bad. And then the self-aggrandizing quotes of how critics love the show. Like the show was sniffing its own farts in its trailer so hard, and like I cannot stand that shit. Like it thinks it. I was talking to my wife about this, and I was like, I almost feel like they know Star Wars fans like mostly are not going to check this thing out, so they created that trailer to literally go after people that don't even watch Star Wars.
Talk about the Andor trailer, isn't he?
Hey, critics love this thing, and check out these cool rock riffs. Like literally,
Andor trailer.
No, the trailer wasn't for Star Wars fans. That's I should tell you something. Go watch the trailer for Revenge of the Sith. You guys are going to see quite the difference. You're going to realize, oh, that's what they mean. Okay,
yeah, man.
I see.
Yeah, 20th
Disney sequel trailers.
Revenge of the Sith is coming out for a week in April.
Yes.
I don't know if y'all heard that.
Josh,
just in case.
Here you go, Josh.
Mando!
They all hate you, Mando.
That's Wars. The way the tone comes in.
Yeah, right. Right.
Mando! Like the atmosphere. You can fucking feel
energy in there. There's energy.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to hear Cyril talking to his mom. Like this.
Cyril talking while eating cereal.
I miss the idea of it. But not the truth. The weakness.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Both.
Two for two. Such greats. I've been talking a lot about the intent behind art, and that you can actually feel the intent, whether it's articulated. Like our subconscious is that powerful. And like you said, if the guy hates Star Wars, I think maybe that just it permeates through everything, through the lack of aliens, to the set, the bricks and the screws.
Of course. Yeah.
I was just waiting
100%.
for
I'm some.
Funny guy.
No, dude, you're dead ass. Like that's if you think about art, like I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rick Rubin at all.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. So
I love that
guy,
book,
right?
The Creative Way.
Yeah, of course. So brilliant, right?
It's
So like if
such
you
a
think
good
about
book.
right, so if you think about that
Rick
book and you think
Rubin,
about
big
sort of
time music
his,
producer.
philosophy on this thing, how could you be a person that didn't like Star Wars and be able to make good Star Wars, right? Like it almost feels like that wouldn't work. Like that doesn't work. You're not going to get there that way. You might create something that speaks to all the sensibilities that you have, to the sort of energy that you cultivate, to like your personal views of the world, and that's beautiful because that's art. And artists do different things. They gravitate towards certain genres, or they gravitate towards certain mediums, right? Like that's sort of the art and the world pushing back against that just creative bubble. But how on earth could you be a guy that doesn't know anything about it, never was into it, doesn't know the world, doesn't live and breathe it? And how could you be given $700 million by a corporation to make that product? Like it truly doesn't. It baffles the mind.
Insane.
I think the only answer is Kathleen Kennedy doesn't like Star Wars.
Yeah,
I think
no,
that's
she
just
doesn't care,
honestly.
dude. She doesn't.
I think
care about
that's
Star Wars.
honestly possible. I think that
Yeah.
she does not like it. That's the only answer I can come up with.
I agree.
Yeah,
Well,
because
she had no
she
source
probably-
material, dude.
No,
And you're sounding like a separatist.
it's wild.
Okay.
So
You guys
hopefully
about
there's
ready to
some
watch
hope
Invincible?
Still, but damn, bro.
I'm about ready to watch
A little bit of a
Invincible.
gut punch.
We've gotten to the we're repeating.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
We've
That
been
was
on the
that's
repeating
a
ourselves
hard
point for
statement, though.
like
I'm gonna make movie
20
team
minutes
die. Crazy.
And I really
She
kind of
came
want to
out
watch
strong.
the next
Message.
episode of
The
Invincible.
strong-
What do you guys think, chat? You want to watch Invincible?
The strong.
Or you want to give
Like,
this
I
a
ain't
little while
going
longer?
anywhere, pal.
She's
She's
like,
gonna make like
basically
a
was
rap
like,
video
dude,
Okay,
right?
continue destroying the brand. Go ahead.
till I
She's like, hey,
DRE.
Theory and Josh. Yeah, exactly. You thought DEI was
How
bad.
about it, chat?
until I DIE?
Damn.
Damn.
Damn, bro. Crazy.
Crazy times, brother. Crazy times. Hey, what up, Star Wars Sith? Good to see you, brother.
What?
My face is in the way,
He's
but
always
Star
loving
Wars
my-
Sith's
my
beard is
live streams.
immaculate.
Dude, we have 200 super chats. How are we gonna get through this?
I don't know. I'm about to bail, though.
Don't do that.
Good luck, boys.
Yeah, they're like 90%. We love you, Josh.
I
we
know,
are.
right? You can just ignore those then. You know what I mean? If I'm not here, you
Yeah.
don't even have to fucking.
I know.
While I got you guys, I want to put an idea out there. I know. Wait, what did he say? Oh, wait. What was it?
I don't know. Don't
Dad?
worry about it.
Oh, shit. Rossi's pissing Theory off.
Don't worry about Rossi.
There's Rossi.
He's trying to get a booth at Dragon Con. Meet up at Dragon Con. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. Look, I probably can't do anything at a Comic Con till summer or winter. I'm just
Get your socks out, nerds. Fucking
kids
Rossi.
are a little wild.
Yeah, I bet. Must be a lot of time.
Yeah, they're worth it though. They're cool.
I bet. Yeah, maybe one day. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, find the right lady or just clone yourself like Dr. Evil or some shit. I mean,
Palpatine,
that would actually be
Snoke,
kind of
right?
awesome.
Be wild, bro. What am
A
I,
mini
Django
you?
Fett?
Yeah,
dude,
Django.
Exactly.
I couldn't handle a mini me. Hell no.
All right, Noah. Thanks
you know
for
how
hopping
many,
in,
like,
man.
character
Appreciate you.
development moments it took me to get to this level? I was a
You were a
gonna say,
degenerate.
I want to hear it. Yeah, I want to see
Yeah,
DJ.
come
Theory
on,
do it.
man.
Let's just stream
Tell
with
us.
him.
Do it.
bro.
Yeah, hit
Yeah.
your ass.
Teenage me, 20-year-old me.
I was an angel, so
On Facebook, letting out your most horrible thoughts on your wall, like that was you doing something.
yeah, dude. Or
Oh,
MySpace.
I want to throw up.
Hey,
Oh,
I,
yeah,
lo-
remember
I,
music?
making your MySpace page.
I
all
miss
custom,
MySpace still.
Like
Great.
cool
I
art
miss
and music
MySpace.
when you hit the page and shit.
hell yeah, that shit was
I
dope.
decided to see what workout merch you release. Here's another 100. All you have. Oh, dude, thank
Damn.
you. That's that's
Damn. Fro Productions,
Super generous,
send
or
me a
maybe
little of
he
that my
maybe
way.
put in the wrong amount, you know, and he's gonna.
it's possible. Maybe it's supposed to
look at
be.
his credit card statement and be like, what the?
Maybe he meant to do Rossi's amount.
Yeah, exactly. He's a little on that Rossi budget, you know.
Yeah, he's on that Rossi budget, dude.
Straight call him out.
Just kidding,
bro.
Rossi. We love you, Rossi.
Oh, look, another one. Thanks, Rossi.
Oh,
Appreciate
Rossi's
you.
about to bomb him with super stickers.
Enjoy
You know
Vader
that
too,
motherfucker
bro.
is.
Yeah, Rossi.
Yeah,
He's a good guy, though.
All right.
he's the best.
Yeah, he's a wild.
He's the best.
Wild
Such a
boy.
good energy. Such a good person. Met him. Got to meet him. Did you meet him in person?
Silence is
I
assent.
have not met him in
Let us
person
go
yet,
watch
no. I was, like I said, I was gonna come down to that meetup, man. It's just a little too close.
some Invincible.
Yeah.
With the Dust Baby and all that, but
No, I
yeah,
understand.
well, I guarantee we will link up at a con sometime this year. And honestly, next month, Cleveland, that's really
Yeah.
close. I could maybe come over at least for like, a night or something, kick it for a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
anytime.
Shit it. Cool. Cool. That was fun. The boys were back together. That was a good time. But now it is time to pull up your Prime Video. Excuse me. Didn't even realize they made that. Interesting. Yeah. Get your Prime pulled up. Get your Prime pulled up. And get to this screen. If y'all want, after this episode, we can see if the boys are still going. But I'm ready to watch this fucking show. So, chat, those of you who are paying attention, get your primes pulled up. Let me know when they're pulled up and ready to go. Please and thank you. And if you haven't done so, hit the likes and subscribes and thumbs up and notification bells and all that kind of fun stuff. That would be dope if you would be that kind. It would be sweet. It'd be pretty sweet. Oh, yeah, I better actually mute that. Because if I don't, I'll get copy struck. I'll get copy struck. And that'll suck. If I get copy struck. Yeah, that's right. I got that shit too. Yep, episode 6. That is correct. We'll chill here for another couple minutes and then we'll get going on this episode of Invincible. 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 So. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think this is going to be a pretty dope episode. At least I hope it is. I have high confidence in it. Mostly because I've enjoyed pretty much, not to varying degrees. All the episodes have been really good. Some have been damn good. Yeah, definitely a very strong season this season. So I am fairly confident that this will be an enjoyable episode as well. All right, we're going to go in like 2 minutes. 9:30. I'm pressing play. Loving the season so far and the show in general? Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to be disputing anyone that wants to say that season 2 was weaker than season 1, because it was. And it wasn't just because of the gap. Like, I didn't start watching Invincible until after the second half of season 2 premiered. Like, I decided to get caught up then. So I did not suffer the gap the way people did that had been watching it from jump, like as it came out. And even I recognized, even without that gap, which definitely did not help. Let's be straight about that. That did not help season 2 out at all. But I got to watch it all together, and even I'm like, yeah, season 1 was better. But this season right here, season number 3, is definitely better than season 2. I can't call it as compared to season 1 at this point. I'm going to say not quite as good as season 1. But we still have, what, 3 more episodes, including tonight. So this is 6. I believe there's 8. Yeah, because, yeah, there's 8 episodes. So hoping to see more space action in this episode. That would be nice. I would be very much down for that. Little less family life, little more, little bit of a harder push on the story, and of course, lots of excellent violence. All right, it is time, folks. Prepare yourself to hit play. And I have ads. Then I'll let you know when they come up. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A tweet. There we go. Previously. He's got talent. Okay, a little bit of talent. This is like the perfect setup for something highly fucked up to happen. There it is. Is it just me, or does this not feel like fucking Batman v Superman? Villain arc. Yeah. That's probably not the smart thing to say. Oh, okay. What the fuck is this?
No. Why is it just me or does that chick look like Christian Ritter? A little bit. Ooh, that looks fun.
Okay, this will be fun. Yes, yes, I is. Dad. Hey, Matthew. I heard. Geico. And add over. Oh, excuse me. She's like, damn it. Rude. That dude just like, oh, Jesus Christ, the Martian. What? I will hear no disparagement of cats, Martian guy. That's one way to avoid Chicago traffic. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sparky. And you know what? That was his wife's idea. Oh shit, bro. I mean, kind of saw it coming, but shit, bro. Damn, that's heavy. God damn, that's some shit, intense shit. Well, that's because of you. There, it's back. I really want to know who the fuck has got the fucking things there. It's annoying as shit. Is it fucking Dr. Claw? Oh no, that's right. It's Brain Guy. That's right. I remember now. Yeah, it's that dude. Oh shit. What the fuck? Alrighty then. Well, how about them apples, folks? I gotta pee. I'll be right back. I'll tell you what, folks. I think they're pretty much done with all the intense family, dealing with life and our emotions shit. Because based on that last scene, I think these last two episodes are about to fucking go down. I think shit's about to go down. And I'm looking forward to it. How about you guys? What'd you think? I thought it was a pretty good episode. I was hoping for a little well, number one, I wanted more space action, like Brooke said. I was hoping for a little more of that. I'm sure we'll get that within the next, episode. Well, there's only two left, so I'm sure we'll get more. But I fucking knew it. Oh, I'm only gonna be on there for an hour and a half. Josh is still on. That's funny as shit. That's funny as shit. Yeah. That was a pretty dope episode, though, folks. I enjoyed it much. And like I said, I think the last two are about to be fucking lit as hell. Very much looking forward to them. All right. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and call it there. That was pretty fucking fun, though. Watching the boys back together, listening to them yap about stuff that they were mostly right about, but not all the way. And then, of course, another pretty decent, pretty good, pretty good episode of Invincible. Like, my only complaint, other than, like, everyone's right, the animation is not that great. Like, the story part of it is really good, though. Like, the character work is really good. That episode was fucking intense, bro. Holy shit. That was crazy. Crazy. It was okay? Yeah, I mean, it definitely could have been, a little less character work, a little more fun. I'm ready for that. I think the balance needs to shift back towards the action. And I think it will. In these last 2 episodes. I don't see any way that it won't, actually. Like, if they like, I may have to change my tune on this season if they keep farting around like this. I mean, cool. I mean, well done with the character work, but like, it's enough now. I'm good. I'm good with that shit now. Let's rock and roll. I'm ready to fucking rock and roll. So hopefully that will begin next week. But for now, I'm dipping. Love y'all. Hope to see y'all Saturday at 9 p.m. where we will go over Mo News. We'll go over the article that dropped. I'm going to analyze it. I'm going to break it down. I'm probably going to shit on part of it because holy crap. The introduction to that article was just ridiculous. I'm going to poop all over that fucking author. But it'll break that down. Of course, I'm sure there'll be some other types of nerdy news besides having to discuss KK again, hopefully. So we'll be talking about all of that Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you haven't done so, please hit the like and the subscribe and the notification bell. Yes, oh yeah, Daredevil. Oh, Tuesday, baby. Tuesday. Tuesday is where the fucking fun begins, bro. Holy shit. I am so stoked for Daredevil. My God, my God, my God. But we'll gush more about that on Saturday as well. So hope y'all have a good rest of your night. Have a good Friday. Have a good Saturday. And we'll see you Saturday night. Right here in the basement. Yes, indeed, we will. So, much love. Thank you for hanging out yet again here in the basement. Appreciate you so very, very much. And we'll see you in a couple days. Peace. Yeah. Pretty laid back stream this time, just chilling, watching nerds talk, and then watching a nerdy show. Nice kind of laid back thing. I like it. I hope you guys liked it. I liked it. So thanks for being here. Y'all are the bomb, and I appreciate you more than I'll ever be able to properly express in words. So thanks for being here. Hope to see you back here Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. for the Saturday night stream. But until then, wherever you're at, and whatever you do, always keep it nerdy. Later!